Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Damn a needle! Damn a needle! Damn a needle! Man, assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Again, you're breaking your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You can stop the straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad splash! You can't stop me! 5-star broad splash! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang, the balance of power that's in. You can't stop the yin and the yang, the balance of power that's in. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. I will levitate, flip kick you in the yell. I will decimate. You can prepare for. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Good afternoon, morning, or night, wherever the hell you are. Good day, good week, good month from RVD Radio. Hey, that almost sounded DJ-ish. But anyway, message to you. I hope you're doing awesome. I am doing awesome. I'm Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show. So, as you can imagine, I'm usually doing pretty damn good. And happy to be doing another show. We're getting back into doing shows. We went a while doing them very sporadically because this is my freedom, my option, doing when I feel like it or when I can get it in around my schedule, and got to coordinate the schedules of all our guests and Nikki Starr, and so this works out cool. We're doing these on the fly when we can get together to have a talk and then post it up for archives. So we got some callers that get the message with not much notice, and, of course, they'll be a part of the show, but I'm so glad we're changing to an hour instead of 2 hours. Nikki Starr, how are you today? Do I got to let you in? No, you let yourself in. Hi, Nikki Starr.
Of course. Hi, Rob Van Dam. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad we're doing an hour now because before it didn't work that well when we were doing the big live shows with a million callers, and it would always, every time we tried to do an hour show, it would take 2 hours. But last week, we did an hour show, and I thought it was awesome, and I thought it was very well done and perfect time, too.
Yeah, I liked it, too. I also like when your people call in time and when we don't have really weird people on the radio. So great.
Should we start calling them, or maybe I should start scheduling, and saying, how about, quarter past the hour?
Right.
We'll talk to you. I always think that, but then when it comes time to it, I'm like, dude, whatever works for you, just call.
Right.
And they all talk over each other. And then we get Justin McCauley who gives 30-minute answers.
He does.
He
Wow.
does.
For real, yo,
I'm
at the end of
guilty,
his
too.
answer, I never even remember what the question was.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that,
Awesome.
too. But it's my show, right? I'm the whole effing show. I did an interview with TNA Impact last week, and the girl said that she's going to – I said, are you going to record this? Or are you just going to write it? Because I always get misquoted when people write it, and I can tell that I didn't say that. She says, no, I'll do every single word by word. Oh, my God, I gave her such a project. She said it took her like 3 hours to type it, which I'm sure it did.
That's
I gave
great.
her because she asked me interesting questions, and I got a lot to share.
Yes, you do. And it's important.
Yeah.
Very important.
So, Nikki Starr, happy 17th of August, 2011.
It's the only one we'll ever have.
Ever. Never happened before. It'll never happen again. That's pretty
Never.
exciting, huh?
Yep. This minute, this moment, right now. Let's do it.
Exactly. And I'm home in California, where I love to be, but I got a really busy week coming up. I'm going to be, in case anyone listening wants to bump into me, don't look for me down at the my favorite hangout down at the Medical Coast Beach, Venice Beach dispensary down there. That place closed down permanently after like 5 years of being open.
What
They had to shut
happened?
down last week. Oh, depressing story. Let's not get into that. It's bad enough you always want to open up talking about death. But
All
anyway,
right. Right?
No, that's all right. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that today is the 17th, and over the next few days, RVD will be wrestling in Columbus, Georgia tomorrow night, Rome, Georgia the next day. I'm also doing an appearance that day somewhere. It's on my website, if you can figure out my new website. We'll talk about that. We're going through changes, and there's glitches, and it's coming along. But appreciate you checking out RobVanDam.com and being patient with our growth. And then after Rome, I'm going to be in Atlanta on Saturday. Then I come home. Let's see, I come home like Sunday. I'm going to be in Vegas Monday at the Magic Show, and then come right back home Tuesday, and then leave Wednesday. And Thursday, we're doing Impact Wrestling in Alabama. Is that true? Huntsville, Alabama. So we're taking our Orlando TV tapings on the road now, Nikki Starr. That's good for the company. It'll look awesome on TV to see like huge, stands filled with thousands of people instead of just the same studio crowd that people are used to seeing on Thursday nights on Spike. But for me, it's a little more work. But that's cool because I want the company to grow.
Well, you're all going to be in my hood.
Where are you? I don't even know where the hell
I'm
you
only
are.
about 3.5. I'm in North Carolina, but I am about 8 miles from the South Carolina border, about 3.5 hours from Atlanta.
Well, come see us.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
We'll be back in
I've never seen live
Georgia.
wrestling.
What's
Never.
that?
I've never
you never
seen
been to
live
a wrestling
wrestling.
show?
No.
Holy cow, I'm going to bust your cherry.
That's exactly. Nobody else will. I would never even go to see another wrestling show unless you were there. That's the only way.
Well, awesome, man. Those are incredibly high standards and very appropriate to hold out for because
Yeah.
you deserve the best, Nikki Starr.
It's true.
Cool. Well, hey, check this out. The other day I was watching the news, as I always do, and I get so pumped up. Like, before we started this show, Nikki and I were talking, and I was saying, I want to do a show tomorrow and the next day already because I'm debating with Sonya about these topics, which but that's not what we're talking about. But you know how I like to do, so I just got to tell you, why, if you're the I'm not a fan of cigarette smoking. It kills 1 out of 2 users. It's ridiculous. But why would you regulate it? Say, okay, I approve of this to be in my market. Okay, sell it. I'm just going to change your fucking packaging so that it says this will kill you. I don't get it. The cigarettes have pictures of burn-up lungs and corpses and shit, and it's like that's not the right way to do it, in my opinion. I mean, if you think it's poison, it shouldn't be sold. Okay, why regulate it? You're the FDA. Why say, okay, this is cool, I'm going to approve it to be in my market, but I'm going to change your packaging on your product so that it shows gross things that basically says do not buy this product. It's like a really backwards way of doing things, doesn't it? What do you think, Nikki Starr?
I think it's absurd. Absolutely
Okay.
absurd. I think then that they should put mangled bodies on every beer. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point.
I do. I'm just saying.
Well, anyway, real quick, Nikki, I want to let you know that SVD walked into the room to say hello. Hi, SVD.
Hi, Nikki Starr.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
Husband rant and rave.
Yeah, so we were debating because she was saying she thinks it's a good idea, and I think that's a great debate.
I don't mind it. I really don't. They do that in other countries. I bought some cigarettes like that in Canada and brought them home for a friend of mine, and actually she cried, and I thought that she was kind of a wuss for crying, but it's like if you know that's what you're doing to your body and you can see it, well, there it is. Don't cry about it.
Did she quit smoking?
No, God, no. She still smokes.
Exactly.
She just cried because she's a little wimp.
She's the one that never quit until she got pregnant, wanted to quit for her baby, so she did by choice, and afterwards started again. By choice. That's all by choice. That's what I think.
Absolutely. It doesn't have
anything
to do with
good points to that, though. But also on the news, and this was the other day we were watching this, and this caught my attention. In Las Vegas, there's a business, a tattoo, Chronic Tattoos, and I think there's another word in there. I should look it up so I give them proper credit. But Chronic something tattoos, and they had this idea to give their T-shirts to the homeless people that are, they're at the intersections, they're standing under the bridges, they're begging for whatever, but they give them shirts with their company name on it. And then they tell them, hey, man, you don't mind every time we drive by and you're wearing our shirt, we're going to reward you. We're going to give you some water or some soda or some cigarettes is what they mentioned. And some people think, that is exploiting the homeless and it's encouraging panhandlers, and it just should not be done. It's bad. I kind of don't really see it that way. I mean, I understand that point of view, but I think that's a great idea. And by the way, there is the factor that you're giving clothes to someone that you think could need it. But from my experience, they don't necessarily appreciate it like that, because I tried to me and Sonia met a guy in Hawaii that was homeless. His name is Del, still a friend of ours. And this guy, he just lives on the beach right there it's in Waikiki in Hawaii. And it was like I tried to buy him food at Denny's one time. He had no idea what was on the menu. I'm like, dude, you want me to grab you something? We're going to do. He goes, oh, sure. What do you want? Whatever. I go, no, just say something, dude, and I'll buy it. I don't know what you feel like, And he's like, I don't know, whatever you're having, I'll get it. I go, dude, what the fuck? He goes, to be honest, I don't know what's on their menu. And I'm realizing, okay, yeah, this guy don't sit at Denny's and shit. He sleeps on the beach. Who knows what he eats? But I gave him a shirt, and he just gave it to somebody else. So he gave me a different opinion, but he's super proud. He was like, what a beautiful place it is, to live. The weather was great. He said the cops come by and harass you if they think you're sleeping on the beach at night, so you gotta someone looks out for you, you gotta pretend like you're moving or whatever. So that can't be too comfortable, but I'm sure they have their ideas and their ways around it. But besides that, weather permitting, I'm sure some people probably appreciate the clothes more. You're giving them a shirt, they're wearing your product, they're advertising for you. I don't see it as a problem. What do you think, Nikki Starr? I got to put you back in because you went back to handle shit. Okay.
No, I'm in. I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with it at all. I really don't. I think it's fine. Just, as long as I don't see any harm in it at all whatsoever. Now, let me tell you what, though, if I was Chronic Tattoo, I'd rather somebody else wore my T-shirt. Anybody wearing it is still advertisement, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Obviously, I would think there's no legal ramifications. I'm assuming that they're being rewarded with water and cigarettes and soda instead of paid, because then you could probably get into some legal technicalities, right. With your taxes, and you can't. Money has to be traced, but doing this, it seems like it's a win-win situation. And then, of course, some people are like, yeah, but would you want your business associated with the homeless people, or people, that are dirty panhandlers that are wearing your shit? Is that really a good image for you? Well, that's up to the person that thought it was a good idea, I think.
Right. I think for Chronic Tattoo it works. I don't think maybe for Gucci it would, right? Right.
No.
But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to look them up, by the way, and I can't find shit on them. I guess they're better off advertising with homeless people than Google.
And on the web. right?
Yeah, unless I'm fucking up their name. I don't know. See if you can find it. Do we have a research department?
I'm researching right now.
News article or something. Homeless people, man. I'm looking up all these words. Oh, you do? Is it chronic tattoos?
No, I don't have chronic tattoo. I have the homeless information.
Chrome gypsy tattoo. Okay, I fucked up. See, I knew that's why I wanted to verify, because they deserve some advertisement. I don't want to be shorting them. I'm not going to fuck them over, but Chrome gypsy tattoo.
Got it.
Okay, so the homeless people are wearing their T-shirts. You know, the homeless people, I think, make people feel funny, you know, like in general. It's one of those topics that, like, people are like, oh, I don't want to seem like an asshole, but at the same time, ew. That's what I think. That's what I think that the general public, it's one of those things, you know, where it's like, oh, let's just not think about it. And, you know, that's what we love to talk about on RVD Radio. So I don't mind admitting, when I come out of a 7-Eleven, which here in Los Angeles, when you come out of 7-Eleven, you are approached for change. I go by how I feel. I don't feel obligated. There was a time way back in the day when I might have felt like it was more of a duty kind of thing to do. Like when I was super young, you know, Sabu was like a mentor to me. You know, when I was just 17, I guess I was 18, 19. I was learning from him about how he treated people as a man. He's a couple years older than me, and he was the guy making money. We weren't making any money. Even though he wasn't making a lot of money, he was making more than us. He would take care of us, buy our food or whatever. I was like, wow, you know, that goes a long way, generosity. I get the positive energy because I appreciate the fucker so much. I'd love for people to appreciate me like that, which isn't always how it goes, but he would, like, someone would be like, hey, brother, you got any change? He would pull out a $20 bill, even if he's broke, and give it to him. And Sabu is over generous. Anyone that knows him could tell you that he is overly generous. But, you know, saying that in a good way had a very positive influence on me. So there was a time before when I might have felt like, yeah, you know, if I can help somebody here, and because Sabu, you'd say, like, Sabu, you only got $40. Why'd you give that guy 20, dude? Because he doesn't have anything. And that really makes sense to him. Like that's the way that his logic works, and some people are like that. For me, I'll go with how I feel. Like when I come out, sometimes I don't want to be bothered. Sometimes I feel like it is a nuisance, and I'm going to be honest, that may make me seem like a bad person in some people's eyes, but sometimes I want to, especially if I'm in a bad mood, I want to be able to pump my gas, to slide my credit card in the machine at the pump so I don't have to talk to anybody, and I don't want you to fucking come up and start wiping my windows down and then me feel like I owe you something. Get away from my car. I don't wish you that you're going to go get hit by a car. You know, good luck to you, whatever. But for me, you know, I go with how I feel. Sometimes you got some spare change, sure, here you go. You know, sometimes I want to make them smile. Or, oh, you know what else, Nikki Starr? I think most people give for the karma effect. They just feel like, well, I'm doing this good thing. I hope it's going to come back to me in some way. I think a lot of people do it solely for that reason. So whatever your reason is and however you decide your own personal policy is with homeless or with beggars, because I don't suppose all homeless people beg, but I don't even know. Maybe they do. Do all homeless people beg, Nikki Starr?
No, they do not, and I was just waiting for you to give me a break. I mean, that's a good chance. They absolutely do not.
And you know this because?
Because I have been homeless before.
Tell us about that one. Does that mean like couch surfing, like crashing at people's houses, or does that actually mean like, dude, check out that refrigerator box, it's mine?
Right, no. I had a truck, which I slept in, and then every other day I would go to somebody's house to shower and sleep on their couch. It was bad.
Yeah.
There was no room in the shelter where I lived, so, you know, you just found a park and went where you could go, and the weather was nice. Thank God. It was only probably about maybe a month, you know, true homelessness, a month. But I never begged once.
And you didn't even have, like, you weren't getting your email or anything, huh?
Oh, no way. Are you kidding me? Actually, that's not true. I did go to the library once.
Uh-huh.
I did. And that's how I found my place to live, too, was on Craigslist. But it's not, I mean, it's just not what you think. Sometimes, in my mind, it was better to save the money that I had as opposed to, like, getting a hotel because I could have, or staying with people and imposing, right, to get a different place. I don't know. I mean, I could have stayed in a hotel for a month.
Yeah, it would have been expensive.
Right. It's just, but it's really difficult. The very first time that I realized, oh my God, I have no place to stay except for my truck, was like very, very, like, humbling. But I never begged, ever. And there were some times I didn't have money for food either. Towards the end I did, but at the beginning I didn't.
Right. So does that make you sympathize more, like when you see people out there, or do you, or when they're begging, does it change your perspective, and maybe, I don't want to say you look down on them, but maybe you feel like, hey, I was able to fucking get by without begging,
right.
or does it not even affect the way you look at them?
It did affect the way I looked at them, and then it did, mostly because, especially if they have kids, which I didn't, okay, there's a little bit more empathy for me if they have children, and also knowing that the second highest reason why people are homeless is mental illness. Like, they just get pushed out on the streets because there's no place to take care of them, but they really are mentally ill. If that type of person is begging, you usually can tell too. Like, I wasn't dirty. I hadn't lived on the street for years. You can tell the level of how long people have lived on the street. Well, I can now anyways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be humbling to, you know, and I mean, I have had and do have some friends that end up that way, like you're talking about temporarily. They're between places, and they like to use the word, dude, I'm homeless. And it is because they currently do not have a home. That is a little different than the people that live on the streets. I mean, God, like when I'm walking by a sidewalk and you see something, you know, looks like a bunch of garbage, and you realize it's someone sleeping under a tarp with a bunch of newspapers on it, you know, I can't help but just wonder, like, holy shit, how different is that guy's life, you know?
I just think those are the mentally ill. I really do.
And that's why they can't get work.
Right. It's huge. Like, that really is the second. First it goes unaffordable housing is the number one reason, because we don't have affordable housing. But the second one, which is really close behind it, is mental illness. So, number two, for reasons why people don't have any home.
Well, that does make a lot of sense, Nikki Starr. And they do seem like crazy people. A lot of them are...
exactly.
And a lot of them are talking to each other and stuff like that. Or, I mean, talking to themselves. You know, when, let's see, 1991, I drove down to Tampa, Florida, and at the time, you know, I just drove down there. I had like $100 in my pocket. My car was illegal to drive and held together by hangers with a stolen registration sticker, whatever. It was, you know, paying my dues. And I ended up staying on this dude's floor that was the promoter, the guy that named me Rob Van Dam. But right before I got there, like I'm a few blocks from his place after driving all the way from Michigan to Florida, and I put over for gas, and this dude comes up to me, and he's like, gives me this big spiel. I don't know if he was homeless or what. He didn't look, you know, dirty and tethered like he was living outside, but he gave me this deal about, oh, man, you know what, my car just broke down. Can you give me some money for gas, you know, give me your address, I'll send it back to you. My car's right up the street, whatever. And I had $100 in my pocket. I ended up giving him like $20. And that was a lot of money to me at the time. And, of course, I got ripped off. And that changed my view on the scam artists, which we'll do a whole other show on that. But a lot of the homeless are scammers. A lot of the ones on Venice Beach are homeless, or a lot of them live together, and they're the same characters I've seen for like the 12 years that I've been going down to Venice Beach, the same fucking people out there looking for handouts. And it's like, that's like their job.
I don't like that. And same in San Francisco. When I was in San Francisco, lots of panhandlers. And like I was telling Rob, they would beg and beg and beg and then get around the corner and go in their Mercedes-Benz home. I don't like that. So.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, all right, thanks, Nikki. Hang out, but check those callers that are coming in, because I'm texting some of my guests telling them to call in. So we may have hear from some of them, and we're going to be talking to, hopefully, Chris Masters, who's very much in the news right now, and Hurricane Helms, who no one's heard from since his bad accident. So he agreed to be on, and he may be one of these callers, and that's exciting. Speaking of the characters down at Venice Beach, the most famous beggar, panhandler, street performer, whatever the fuck you want to call him. His name is Harry Perry. He goes around on rollerblades, and he plays the guitar, and he's got like an amplifier on his back, towel head. You've seen him, dude. He's in the damn. He's on the cartoon poster for Venice Beach, and I think he might even been pumping iron in that movie. He's every documentary, Venice Beach, you see him there. He is Venice Beach, and all day long he goes around and he plays that guitar, and he'll circle around you while you're walking and play the song until you give him a couple dollars and he'll go away. But he also has advanced to, like, he's got a couple CDs or something that he sells. But I seen that guy in Gold's Gym one time, working out. Dude, you're a beggar on the street. You got a Gold's Gym membership. What the fuck? So it also helped change my perspective. Perspectives are always changing as the education goes with it. All right, cool. Nikki Starr, I'm going to go for a caller. It's not one of our scheduled guests. I'll get on them. But first I'm going to talk to Stow. Is that how you say that? Strow? I'm so confused. Hey, okay, anyway, Strow, is that your name from New York?
No, it's Sal.
S-T-R-A-U.
No, S-A-L.
How do you spell Sal, S-T-R-A-U, Nikki Starr? Is that you or is that our crazy new, whatever the hell this new board is on Blog Talk? All right, cool. Anyway, Sal, thanks for calling in, dude. And sorry that Nick slaughtered your name. Just joking, Nikki. We're playing. But anyway, cool, dude. What up, Sal?
It's a pleasure. First-time caller. I live in New York City, and I remember, and she was 100% correct. I think most of the people initially, when they had opened up, released a lot of the mentally ill out of the state facilities. They flooded the city, and they were all over the place. And
like Fidel Castro did with the Cubans, just fucking throw them all over.
Yeah, like Scarface, the movie. So. Yeah, and then it caused such a problem. And then we also had at the same time the crack epidemic. So you had a lot of people who were both mentally ill and crack addicted. So that was a big problem back then. And then Mayor Giuliani came along after Ed Koch, who had to preside over a city that was filled with crack addicted, mentally ill people on the street. And Mayor Giuliani pretty much just changed everything and turned now New York City's Manhattan's like a wonderland. But in any case, I had an experience yesterday where I was going to a pharmacy, and there was this tall, muscular, strapping male who was asking for a quarter. I don't know if he was homeless, but honestly, sometimes when I encounter the homeless people asking for money, it makes me feel better about my life circumstance. I actually have a lot of gratitude when I see them. I'm glad that I'm not in that condition.
I feel the same way. That's exactly how I react inside when I see them. It doesn't always make me feel like, hey, just because I got it better than them, I should share with them. I'm gonna give Sabu a call in a few minutes, I think, when we get a break, but to get his impression, because this guy, somehow that makes him feel obligated, and I get that out of compassion. You want to help other people, you know what I mean? If I see somebody about to get hit by a car and I can pull them out of the way, of course I'm going to. Are you kidding me? I'm a hero. I go out of my way to try to help people. But when it comes to that, I mean, part of having money is being smart with your money, knowing what to do with it. And not getting caught in scams or some of these, you could, even if the people really are just getting money and they're going to eat, at what point is it a scam when that's all they're doing 7 days a week and they're making good money? If they're making $100 or $200 a day and that's their job, I mean, prospectively, that could be considered a scam because you're giving money because you think this person is broke. They could make more money than you.
Did you? I heard a story years ago about, I don't know whether it was in California or in New York, a man who was basically a professional beggar, and he was making thousands of dollars a week. He would go home. I thought it was an urban myth, but it was confirmed. It was actually true. It wasn't an urban myth. There was this gentleman who was begging, and it was really his profession. And he wasn't homeless or anything. He just found he could make a better living by panhandling than, by getting a job and paying taxes.
Yeah, that's very, very easy to see how that could happen. You know, Los Angeles, just like New York, is filled with panhandlers and the street performers down at Venice Beach. Same thing up at Santa Monica, 3rd Street and Promenade. Not so much on Hollywood Boulevard. There's panhandlers. They don't really get into trying to work for their bucks so much, but these guys, every day. It's so much, in fact, that like these are the kind of places. Like I was on this is the boardwalk, by the way, Venice Beach Boardwalk. If you've never been there, attracts thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people every day that walk by it. If you have a business there, it's better than being inside of a very popular mall because it doesn't have the hours of the mall, and all day long until it gets dark, and then it has a different kind of character that comes out. But there's so many people walking up and down that boardwalk, like just all hours of the day. It's packed, and those are all customers. So if you have a storefront there, you're doing really well. The storefronts usually last a long time and are very successful, even though they're paying $20,000 a month to rent a spot on the boardwalk. Now, if you're across the boardwalk, you don't pay rent. You're in what they call a lot, which means you sit there, you set up a tent, or you just lay a blanket down and you sell shit, whether it's painted rocks or candles or whatever the fuck they're selling. They don't have to pay. They make tons of money. And the street performers, they don't even have to fight over getting a lot. They walk up and down, and this is the kind of business that a boardwalk gets. It's so productive and so lucrative. I was on the boardwalk in New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, walking down the boardwalk. I looked over and saw Virgil sitting there with a table set up selling pictures. And he didn't even know that TNA Impact was in town. He was just there selling pictures. And you think about it, whatever he's selling the photos for, how many hundreds could you do if you were there all day, like the panhandlers are? So not a bad job.
You know, here in New York, there was a problem. There were a lot of sidewalk vendors. And now they have to be licensed. I don't know if they require licensure. On Venice Beach, it was like Muscle Beach, right? But here, you have to be licensed, and there are guidelines that they have to adhere to. So they pretty much eliminated a lot of those people. They had to qualify, no criminal records and things like that. So, they pretty much gotten rid of the scammers based on that criteria for getting a license, right? I don't know if that's the case at Venice Beach. They don't require a license to sell their wares on the sidewalk?
Well, I'm not really sure. Hopefully I won't have to find out from my own perspective, and consider that a living. But thanks for the call, Sal, and hang on.
Sure.
I'm not cutting you off, but I am going to go to Joe Tack from Pennsylvania and hear from him. What up, Joe?
Hey, RVD, big fan, man. First time catching the show. Appreciate the time, man. I'm living here in Pittsburgh, and we have our fair share of homeless, not nearly as much as in New York or LA. I don't see a big problem with maybe helping someone out, giving us some change or whatnot. But it's a tough subject matter,
Well, it is because people feel like they're an asshole if they look the other way, and they don't help somebody that's in need, and at the same time they could be disgusted by that person. I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes, I may be like, I have had this happen before. I give them some money, and then they put out their hand and they want to shake my hand, and then I'm like, oh, your hand's so dirty and gross, and I shake their hand, and then I can't wait to wash my hand before I touch anything, and I'm like, and then I think back, well, that was on me. I didn't have to shake his hand. I could have just given him a knuckles or whatever, but, obviously people want to shake my hand all day, so I have a policy on that, like unless I'm holding something or have food, I try to show them I don't think I'm, above you. I'm the same species, and that kind of like breaks down even on such a level, But tough subject, Joe, but, hey, there's a... You're from, you're from Pennsylvania, I was going to say, isn't that, because the phone number looks like, oh no, that's 615. One of the guys, I don't even want to mention his name, but a lot of people, had damaged, they lost their homes for natural disasters. All that shit happened in Japan, and then there's fucking, every week there's some tornadoes or whatever, but Nashville got killed, I think it was last year, maybe the year before. No, it was last year. They got flooded like a motherfucker, and I know people that live there because that's where TNA's office is, and one of the wrestlers, everything was destroyed. He lost everything, and And I'm trying to he was living in a shelter where he was getting fed like 3 times a day with all these people. And this is one of my friends, one of the guys that's in TNA right now. And holy cow, you know, it was like I wanted to help him because I know the guy, you know. And I felt, you know, compassion for all the people, even though I don't know them. But when you're connected, obviously, you feel a stronger connection. That makes sense. But it could happen. You know, it could happen to anybody, so it's not necessarily like they're just a different form of people, like, you know, like they're apes and we're not, you know. I mean, God forbid. I wonder sometimes, like, wow, that dude right there, walking down the sidewalk talking to himself, who knows what went on in that guy's life? Like, how many times he could have fallen from the top? You never know.
Yeah, you never know, man. Well,
you never know. But it's interesting. I appreciate the call, Joe, and if you hold on, you can talk to Mr. Hurricane Helms. What it is, Hurricane?
What it is, brother. How you doing?
Awesome, dude. How are you? We haven't talked to you or heard from you since that bad accident. I asked you how you were just, I think, last week, and you said you're still laid up.
Yeah, I still can't put any weight on the foot. You know, the foot's I almost lost the foot, so, you know, I mean, along with almost killing myself, but
well,
you know,
thank goodness you didn't, and that you're all right, and that you're here with us on RVD Radio, yo.
Yeah, I'm healing and chilling.
Good deal. Cool, man. Well, good to talk to you. And today's episode on RVD Radio, we're talking about homeless people, and the point of debate that really made me want to do this show was a business in Vegas is advertising on the homeless people by giving them their T-shirts to wear, and they're rewarding them with like money and with water, cigarettes, shit like that. And then some people are saying that's cool. I kind of think it's a great idea. I think it's awesome as long as you don't mind your business, you know, being associated with that. Like Nikki Starr said, if it was a beauty salon, that would probably be inconsistent, but you know, that kind of, some people are saying it's exploiting the panhandlers and their nuisance, and, you know, some people treat them like they're pests, like they want to bug spray them and wipe them out, and then other people say, well, we should pay to have shelters they can all live in, and it's one of those subjects, you know, where you say, I don't know. So we got some callers on the line, and I wanted to pick your brain a little bit, see what you thought about it, Hurricano.
I mean, if they're giving them something, you know, I mean, I can't say it's bad to give a homeless person something, no matter what it is. I mean, if you got nothing, then something could mean everything in the world.
What if you give them herpes?
I mean, hey, if they didn't have it, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, there you go, like a goose that laid a golden egg.
I mean, yeah, you can never have enough herpes.
So yeah, in North Carolina, I know you don't have homeless people like Joe's got in Pennsylvania, and I've got in L.A. and in New York, and there's no way, right? I mean, is that like part of your regular day when you go to gas station or convenience store or whatever, when you're not laid up? Is there a lot of homeless people like begging you for money at the stop signs and shit?
I mean, we have them. They don't nowhere near as abundant as, you know, New York is homeless people are almost, you know, that's a whole subculture out there. In Vegas too, I would imagine. And we have them. I know, like that. I was just told this not too long ago. There are certain people that they have to get a permit to panhandle. They have to, you know, to sit on this corner and beg for money. So you have to get a permit from the city. And I just I was like, I don't know what the paper would even be. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like they were asking about. Actually, the guy was saying that Sal was saying in New York, same thing. He said that they get permits to, and that it weeds out like a lot of people because you can't have a criminal past and shit like that. But to me, that just sounds all mafia, like the government mafia saying, "Hey, you can do whatever you want as long as we get a piece of it. You know, go through our system, belong to us, and then we're all cool." That's what it sounds like to me.
Exactly.
Which is ridiculous.
Can't imagine if you don't have a home that you would have a permit for anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
but some homeless people have cell phones and fucking.
Yeah.
Some have gold gym memberships, and
that's what makes it so tricky, man. Because, you know, obviously not. Most of the homeless people, I would guess, are indeed homeless, and maybe they just had bad luck or something. But then you got some people, and, you hear these stories all the time, where you find out that this person isn't homeless, so that's what they do for a job. That, they walk with a limp, and they're all, messed up. And then, like, when it's time to go home, they miraculously are healed. They lose the limp, and they go home to a house. I've seen a couple of stuff like that, and that's crazy. But
absolutely. And Nikki was saying that she gave money to someone. They went around the corner, like, got in a Mercedes and drove off or something. Yeah, there's a lot of professional beggars that their whole living is possible just by skimming off of you.
Yeah, there was one story in New York that was real popular recently. This is just recently. And this guy was posing as a war veteran. He lost a limb, like maybe it was an arm. He had it tucked behind him somehow. And I think some guy went up and asked him, another war veteran went out and asked him, like, what division he was in, what, battalion or whatever it was. Just totally called the guy out. And, like, they called it all on camera.
Oh, shit. That might be the same thing the other guy was talking about with New York too. Hey, I got on the line with me the very hot in the news today, Chris Masters. What up, dude?
What up, dude? Rob Van Dam. Holy
hey, Chris, we also got Mr. Hurricane Helms on the line with me and you and Nikki right now. And
what it be?
What it is.
What it be?
I think the last time I was on this show, Chris was on it too.
Chris started. He's been on the show a lot. I think you've only been a couple of times, Hurricane. But when we started doing this, it was we actually at one time thought about calling it like RVD Masterpiece Theater or something. We were tossing around some names because we were hanging out and we were kind of like did the first few shows together, But he didn't live like right down the street, so it got a little difficult, and then we got crazy. But yeah, man, how about that? Full circle. Here we are again, and Masters may not know, but hey, by the way, today when I got to sign on to do the RVD radio show, there's a big ad of you, Chris Masters, and it says you're doing some Impact Live wrestling show or something. Do you know what that is?
Masterpiece Theater. I crashed SummerSlam Access and mingled with the fans a little bit. But, I just figured why not capitalize on the RVD TV revolution and start Masterpiece Theater as a weekly show going forward.
Like, where can people find that? Is it easy to find?
Well, the teaser is up on YouTube under Masterpiece Theater, and you can type in SummerSlam, but I'm going to start a YouTube channel once we get the first show out. So look for that like next week probably.
Sweet. And there's also a link to that off of the blog that I put up on my site this week. And I think that ad was for some interview maybe that you did or are doing with Blog Talk Radio. But anyway, we're talking about homeless people, Chris Masters. And maybe you can relate to this, but a lot of people say they're a nuisance, but are they people down on their luck? Nikki Starr said they're mostly crazy people. And there's homeless where, you're couch surfing and you stay with friends for a while and you don't have a home. And I know you can relate to that because you stayed at the Van Dam home for a little while. But
yes, I did. Actually, I was a homeless person for a little while, so I can relate.
Yeah, but you weren't out there with your hands out saying, hey, man, you got some spare change. You weren't doing that.
Well, that's because I had such a good friend like you to take me in, of course.
Dude, you know what?
He's out sometime, and I got the munchies 3 years later. Actually, I think I'm still hungry.
That's awesome. What was I going to say? I got Bruce Jingles on. I'm going to put him on here too. But I wanted to get this out. Just like always, everyone calls in the last few minutes, and everyone will be on at the same time. But anyway, here's what I say to people that say, "Hey man, you got any extra money or any extra change? Or what the fuck is extra money? Like when I got paid, who says, okay, here's the money I owe you for the work you did." Plus some extra. Do whatever you want with it. Give it out. Give it to people. Whatever. It's not even going on your tax records or anything. It's just extra. It's extra money. It's in your pocket. Who has that? Who does that? Bruce Jingles does that. At the comedy show. Bruce Jingles, what up, dude?
What up? You talking about
I'm letting you
homeless
through because you always cry when you're on hold, but we haven't heard from Masterpiece Theater yet, and we're trying to get his opinion on the homeless. But thanks for calling in, dude. How are you,
motherfucker?
Yeah, there's Jingles, motherfucker. We got Hurricane Helms and Chris Masters and Nikki Starr and
Hurricane Helms, motherfucker.
Yeah. So Masterpiece, were you just gonna say that you hate all homeless people and they're dirty and you wish they'd die?
That's exactly what I was going to say, RVD. No, actually, let me say this. That this is my whole thing, my philosophy when I see a homeless person. If I have the money, I'm sympathetic towards homeless people just because I look at it like these are people who are down on their luck and have messed up their life and don't have anything left to show for it. So, I mean, if I'm doing well and I have a couple dollars in my pocket and it's not going out of my way, I'm going to give it to them, and especially if they're not pressing me on the issue, if they're not all up in my face asking for the money or whatnot. I mean, and that's just me. I'm not saying I think that they made the right decisions or they're not a nuisance on society by any means, but I'm just saying the fact that, I can understand being down on your luck and not, necessarily being born into wealth necessarily and not having all the best, growing up with the greatest things and not having the opportunities. So, I sympathize sometimes with them. But, at the same time, there's a lot of guys out there who are just, getting drunk and hassling people and, begging. So, I wouldn't necessarily sympathize with that.
I take it by the situation. I go with how I feel. If I feel like, getting them some money, or if I feel like not, or if they're rude, or whatever. But I think it's pushy if they just start fucking wiping my window down and then expect me to pay them afterwards. Like, dude, get your squeegee off my fucking car. And I will do a running, spinning, jumping, flying sidekick off the hood of my car.
And I tell you what, I hate the homeless people that where you don't give them money, you give them food, and they get all pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was at Pink's in Hollywood, right? And I gave this homeless dude came by and I gave him a pink dog and he got all pissed off.
Bruce, I'm so glad you said that. That's a great point. And I've been in that situation a few times myself. Recently on Hollywood Boulevard, a friend was with me, and the guy was begging for money, and my friend tried to give him his cheeseburger that he just fucking bought, and the guy didn't want it, and he was pissed, just like you said. What I do, I like it when someone's begging outside of a restaurant. That's what I like, because I'll say, come on in, I'll buy you something. I've done that, several times, and the reason is because once I fucked up. I was outside this McDonald's in Vegas, and I was walking like by the McDonald's, and some homeless people, one dude, hey man, I think I saw him earlier in the day, so I felt obligated, and I was like, these guys are your friends? And they said, yeah, and I laid down some money, thinking it'd take care of all of them on the table and walked off, and I know one of those fuckers grabbed it, and so after that, I go, when I'm getting my food, I'll say, well, go ahead and order something. And if they don't want to do that, then fuck off.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I swear to God, when that dude did that to me at Pink's, I wanted to sock him in his fucking jaw, dude. You don't turn down a Pink's hot dog.
Nobody.
I wouldn't turn down a hot dog, and I hate hot dogs.
What's wrong with you? You can turn down a DeWinter Schnitzel dog. You don't turn down no damn Pink's hot dog, son.
I agree, Bruce. I see ya.
Yeah. RVD, motherfucker.
That's right, motherfucker.
Hey, so we only got like 10 minutes or so for the show, so you guys cool for hanging out, Hurricane, Masters, and Jingles for a minute? Because I want to take...
Yeah, no problem.
All right, you don't have to say those if you don't want, but I want to get Jeff from working on because he's been hanging out for a long time waiting to talk. And we got to know what's up with Oregon. What up, Jeff?
What up?
Hey, man, thanks for calling in, and thanks for listening, and thanks for being you. Are you homeless? Why do you have a phone? Oh, okay. Have you ever seen a homeless person?
Not yet.
Dude. Okay. Well, if you've never seen a homeless person, then I bet you've seen him on TV. You know who he has? You know who was a homeless person at one time? And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. The Boogeyman. Boogeyman. That motherfucker was one of the literally like sleeping outside on a bed without a home at one time, and then he found himself a few years later on WWE pay-per-views traveling around the world making money. He was the most grateful guy I ever knew, man. He's one of those Always has been. He's one of those spiritually uplifting guys that, like, people think he's nuts, you know, and, you know, everyone's probably nuts in our business, but you guys know, Masters and Hurricane, you walk away in the dressing room, he's there, and he would just be like, bless you, Masterpiece. He would say shit like that, and people would just laugh. He was so great.
Oh, yeah, I love him. You know what homeless people I hate, too? Homeless people with pets.
What? Say that again?
Homeless people with pets. I don't get that.
Oh, that's another good point. They got a dog.
Homeless people with pets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, people, it pulls on their heartstrings more, so people are more apt to give money to a homeless person that has a dog sitting next to them, as opposed to a homeless person that doesn't have the dog, or one that has one that's blind or has a limb missing or has some kind of an ailment. They, I'm sure, make more money than those that go it alone.
No, I don't mean the one. Excuse me.
You hate homeless people? Hey, Bruce, you hate homeless people with families, too?
No, I can understand that. I mean pets. I don't mean dogs. I mean, like, birds and shit.
Oh, like the birds, I don't get. But, you know, part of me is like, at least the dogs and the homeless people, at least they find each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand the dogs, but, like, a lizard? Really?
Like, no, I'm with you. I don't get it.
A lizard.
Well, I like to take my duck-billed platypus down to the beach and hold my hand out for money.
What about a goldfish?
Yeah, those are
goldfish.
All right, so Jeff from Oregon, you called to say something?
Yeah, funny. I went to Seattle on vacation one time, and I've seen, there's like, for me, there's like three different homeless people. There's the homeless people who are all like sad. I mean, they ask for money, they don't beg. You know, they're the person you just need to hear a violin solo. It's real slow, all sad, and then you give them some money, just like it's, you know, it's polite. And then you give it to another guy who's kind of begging. You don't have any money. He gets all mad, and then you hear him walk away answering his cell phone. I've had that.
Oh yeah.
It's just
absolutely. Bad. For sure. Wait, that's only two kinds, right? Or did we cover all three?
No, there's one more. There's the ones that are, if they're like not sad to be homeless, they're not exactly happy. Like, they're good. Like, they have their cardboard and they say, you know, I need change for beer, you know, need change.
Oh, the honest ones?
Yeah, the honest ones.
Yeah, I like them. There was one I gave like $10 to that says, had a cardboard sign that says, I just need to get fucked up, help a brother out. And I was like, all right, here you go.
Yeah, there's one guy down on Venice Beach. He's a permanent structure there with a board that says need money for weed. And then there's the black guy that stands out in front of the pizza place down there that goes, jingle bell, gotta get drunk. Oh my God, I've heard him say that for 12 years at least. Every time I walk by him, jingle bell, gotta get drunk. That's his line.
I mean, that guy, he's a career panhandler.
Totally.
That's my uncle.
Yeah, true.
The worst case of a beggar that I think I've seen, the worst case that comes to my mind was, remember outside the Hard Rock Cafe parking lot in Bangkok?
Oh, God, that was bad.
All right, so check this out. We pull up and we park our car. No, we got dropped off in a taxi, and these babies come up to us in underwear.
Like 3, 4 years old max.
And there was like 6 of them or so?
At least.
There was a bunch of them.
They surrounded us.
And they come up as soon as you get out of the car, and the only word they know is please.
No, please, chicle. Please, chicle.
That's chicle money?
No, it's They had the gum.
Rob, you don't remember in India that the kids were naked?
No, I don't remember seeing the naked kids in India.
Yeah, and one of them chased out bus for like a half a mile.
Was that the same tour when Gold Dust got sick and Regal and everybody got sick?
Everybody almost died.
Yeah, everybody, like half the crew, and that sounds a little bit familiar now that you said that he chased a bus. I kind of remember that same feeling of my heart being that poor guy.
Yeah, he came up. I remember I bought this kid had a cobra, like a wooden cobra. you could like move it and it looked like a real snake, and I bought it for $100 American. Just because
wow, that fucking made him. Yeah, that had to have helped the guy out, huh?
Yeah, he went crazy. But I liked the snake, and I also wanted his naked little ass out of my eyesight. So $100 seemed like a good bargain.
Fuck yeah, dude. So just to reiterate, because you got Jingles and Masters, you guys weren't on the line when we were talking about this earlier. I think I talked to Hurricane about it, but I wanted to talk about this because on the news the other day there's this business in Las Vegas, and it's called Chrome Gypsy Tattoo, and they give their T-shirts to the homeless people for them to wear, which advertises their business, and then they reward them for wearing their shirts. They said, every time we drive by and you're wearing our shirt, we're going to give you some water and or some soda or whatever. So that's causing this debate on whether that's a good or bad idea. And so you guys hadn't heard that. That's kind of interesting, though, right, Masterpiece Theater?
That's all they get is water or soda?
Or cigarettes, they said, yeah.
That's terrible.
For who?
That's terrible.
For who? For who? Who got a bad deal for?
Advertise places of business and just get water and drinks? They
all they're doing is wearing a T-shirt, and you would think maybe they want a clean T-shirt anyway.
Hey, I do have to say every time I check in on Facebook, so at least you get something.
True.
What do you think, Jingles? Are you with Master?
I agree.
With who?
I agree with you.
Motherfuckers. Oh, I got to pull this information out of you. Sorry. Why make it sorry?
No, because I was rolling a blunt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, well, anyway, but I get the debate, Chris, that, but I think if they pay them, then they become an employee, or then it's a business.
Rob, I'm just saying at least offer them a hot dog.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but I mean, maybe, I mean, all right, give the fuckers a hot dog. That's a good idea?
It's more acceptable.
Except that fucker that didn't want to take my hot dog. Take the hot dog I wanted to give him from
I think the water would be more important than the hot dog.
Yeah.
Especially if you're out in the fucking desert of Las Vegas. It seems like water would be way more important than a hot dog.
Yeah, it's weird seeing the homeless people in Vegas too, because you have the Mexican dudes working the strip, you know, the ones with the clickers and shit.
Right. Yeah. And the guys are handing out all the business cards and the flyers for the
the outside sales team for the prostitutes.
Yeah. So Chris, you're saying that morally it's not wrong, ethically, whatever, that's fine, but it's in the amount of compensation that you have an issue with.
Well, I don't know. I just heard about this from you. Actually.
No, I know, but I just, that's what we do is just we go with, usually your gut instinct, tells you. How you feel about it, like how it makes you feel, and that's how it makes you feel. But I don't argue with that. You're right. I mean, they should fucking be fed 3 meals a day, I guess. Now that you make me think about it.
A drink and a T-shirt's better than nothing. But you would, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, if they're just walking around or sporting T-shirts, I don't know what the right reward for that is really necessarily. I mean, I guess a T-shirt and drinks is better than nothing, like I said. But a hot dog would be nice too.
So you want the
homeless people to become living billboards?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Well, we're all living billboards, really. I mean, we're all sporting either Nike or Under Armour or whatever. I mean, we're all advertising stuff anyway, so they're just getting something out of it. We're paying for the advertisement. We're paying them to advertise their shit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nikki Starr.
Rob Van Dam.
You're welcome.
What are you trying to say? You warning us that the show's almost over? Or you had an opinion?
It's almost over. Well, of course I have an opinion, but we have a minute left.
Is that what you came on for? Or you wanted to tell us that you want the hot dog?
Time to break it up, boys.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, hey, Hurricane, you got a reality web episode thing going on too. Where do people see that?
Just go to ShaneHelms.com. It has all the information. The cool thing I'm doing right now is my iPhone app. So if you got an iPhone, go to the App Store, type in Shane Helms, because that shit is cool.
Yeah, I got it. I haven't used it yet because I'm slow, but I got the app the other day. Cause at the NWA Fan Fest, DDP used it, took a picture of me and him, and it looks like Hurricane's there with us. It's pretty cool. Cool, man. Thanks for calling in.
You're going to love the update, Rob. I said you're going to love the update that will be done this week because you love the way I talk and my nonsense voice, so you'll love it.
Sweet. And Masterpiece Theater on YouTube. Right?
On YouTube, coming soon. Follow me on Twitter, WWE Master P.
Sweet. All right, thanks, Jingles. Thanks, Nikki Starr. Say bye, baby.
Bye, baby.
Yeah. Bye, baby. Bye, baby.